Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, our weekly gathering of coaches that help one presenter improve a 3-minute pitch. The coaches, as every week, we have Marco Vezzale, Nathan Gold, Michael Marchak, Scotty Spursum, and then we have a couple of attendees who have been pitching before and also always have great feedback. We have Liederman Duin, Chris Dundon, and Samantha Worrell. And of course, Hai Ban joining us as well. He's been pitching in the zone before. Marco will show us the countdown timer going from 3 minutes down to 0, and then it starts to count up. Now, today is a very special day because for some reason our scheduled presenter did not make it, and we have a very brave person, Debbie Kruzik from Teckedin. Debbie, welcome to Pitch in the Zone. And can you tell us very briefly what the intended audience for your pitch will be?
Sure. My platform is a two-sided platform. So one side are tech users and the other are the vendors and partners that sell to them and support them.
Excellent, excellent. So you want to share your screen? If so, then please get ready. And again, thank you for filling in at the very last moment. This takes guts, but my belief is that as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a marketeer, you need to be prepared to give a pitch at any given time. So Debbie, with that, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I have a kind of a written script here, but I'll try to go ahead and go through it. And so thank you very much for letting me do this. If you buy or use business technology solutions and services, you know there is no end to the companies trying to get your attention. They want your email, they call, they push. If you sell solutions and services, it's an endless collection of metrics and posting content on your websites and social media. And for many, the results are discouraging. Neither side is getting what they need. Business executives search when they need information. They don't need interruptions or distractions, and they don't need a pop-up requiring their personal information just to get information. Vendors, partners are trying to get their message out and let people know about their expertise and offerings. The bigger companies have the funds to pay for banner ads and placements. The smaller companies do not. Teckedin was built to revolutionize the outdated process and help both sides of the technology purchase. There are over 600,000 technology solution providers and millions of technology executives. Teckedin wants to be the first site that executives visit each morning for news, trends, and information. We think of ourselves as a virtual library or mall where you can window shop or dive in depending on your time and needs. Solution providers pay a fat monthly fee to be on our portal. They can't pay more. We have no algorithms running through our portal. I have been a reseller in the tech space for 27 years and self-funded the portal. We are looking for help in getting exposure, making development changes as needed, and becoming a brand. So here is our homepage right here. You can see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see we're really trying to focus on, we're tech only, and we have a lot of features right from the get-go here. We have crowdsourced tech news that we put out every morning, and all of our categories and columns are sortable. So we're trying to get it so you can get right to the category that's of interest to you. Same with webinars and events. So here we have them all sorted by date, but if you say, well, I just want to see what's going on in certain areas, you can do that. And at any time, you can search. And then that takes you to different sites here, or different content here. So this is kind of how our portal works, but then we have a back-end portal, which is what we started with. I'll do this real fast, but I know we have a few seconds. If I can type. So this portal is more personalized in that people can save content to a personal vault and save providers to a favorite list. And so it's more personalized towards your email. But the thing is also, we have the knowledge base that I just showed you working in here as well. So if somebody's looking at some type of software, they can come over here and see if there's any news or webinars coming up on it. So this is our portal, and thank you for listening.
Wow. Thank you. This was actually really, really well done. Debbie, can you please stop sharing your screen so we can get a little bit more real estate for our coaches here? Wonderful. Thank you. So this was really, really, really great, especially because you didn't have any time to prepare whatsoever. And you also did a first here at Pitch in the Zone. And that is you gave a quick live demo. And that in a 3-minute pitch, to me, is always something that engages, that people, you know, you just pay different attention when you see somebody actually demoing the product versus having a screenshot of the application. So really, really great. Now, I want to open the floor today with Nathan because Nathan has another commitment in about 5 minutes. So
thank you.
He'll have to drop off the call. Please, Nathan, take all the time you can until you have to run out of here.
Well, there's other people on the line too, so I'm only going to give one or two things, Debbie, and I won't dig in too deeply because you were just doing something so unusual, but now you have an experience that most people don't, which is, I got to do this now. And I know that in the coaching world, I put people through that exercise when they think they're prepared. I'll get on a casual call and just do that. And it's amazing what you learn from the experience that you just went through. So super great work. I'm so glad you took the step to take the time to do it. So I have mainly two things I'll share. One is I need you to bring that 20 years of reseller experience up to the front part of this talk. Otherwise, this just sounds like a two-sided marketplace that you're trying to build now called a portal. And a portal, the word portal is kind of old. I would probably try to find a different word. Marketplace is what some people call it, but the combination of your experience with the 600,000 tech providers out there, those two bits to me build your case for what you're doing. And they came kind of late in the process. So it was about 47 seconds or a little bit beyond that when you mentioned the 600,000 and the millions of, and then even later when you mentioned your own experience. So if you bring your experience up earlier in this pitch as what's called a humble brag, just so we have more trust and belief in everything you say after that, your pitch, the content of your pitch will just jump in terms of impact because you've established your own credibility earlier in the pitch. And you don't need a slide for it. It's just a mention. And I applaud you for doing a very risky thing, which is a live demo in a 3-minute pitch. And you saw what happens. Your fingers are moving a little bit weirdly. You try to put in a password you use every single day without even thinking about it, and you mess it up. I messed it up again and again. So in the future, I applaud you for doing that. You might want to, though, have a backup plan, which is a self-running video of the demo that you want to show us so you can relax, just play the video and talk through it. Okay? But I certainly look forward to having you come back with the coaching you're about to get from the others on this line as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan. And let's move on to, let's go with Marco. Marco, what have you observed? What have you noticed?
Yes, of course. I have to repeat what Nathan said, that congratulations to step up to do the impromptu pitch. It takes courage and also preparation. So whatever I will say it's just because of it, partly at least. At the beginning, you said that it was your audience was mostly investors, but I didn't hear a single way you make money out of your website. So I would expect you to explain a little bit how you make money and some numbers for the investors. But yeah, I enjoyed the demo. And actually, you've been lucky because I guess you know there's this thing called the demo effect, that as soon as you show something to your customer, nothing works. And everything worked. So great. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Marco. And we are moving on. Michael, by the way, Debbie, Michael always leaves valuable comments in the chat box as well. You might want to grab those. Michael, can you elaborate on some of the points that you made and point out any other thing that you have noticed?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Debbie, with the way we're presenting now, I know today was sort of really off the cuff, so you may not be prepared with a microphone or whatnot, but your audio was somewhat muffled when you were talking. So I'm not sure if you were turning away from the microphone as you were speaking or whatever it was, but it ended up being a little bit muffled. That's just a technical thing for the next time. I do like that you brought up the demo and that it worked. That's always really important. One of the things that as an investor listening to this here, I understand you're looking for the vendors to pay in, but they aren't allowed to pay more. And I'm wondering if that just makes you the yellow pages then, because you really don't have an option then to provide additional upsell opportunities to those vendors for placement or whatever. I know you're trying to make it more democratic in terms of how this is approached. You have a list and you can find things that way. And I understand where you're going with that. The challenge is that when vendors look at this stuff, they want to have the opportunity to find a way to be placed more, which would then lead you to higher revenue. So perhaps there's a different way to change the way you're fair to the other vendors to allow them to have that opportunity as well. Again, not sure how else you do it, but that from I get where you're going, but from a revenue standpoint, you're cutting yourself short and you're really disenfranchising vendors who would want to pay more to be able to have better placement.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, as always, Michael's comments, they go way beyond just the pitch, the techniques of delivery. I really, really love it. And always great ideas for any entrepreneur that's coming through here at Pitch in the Zone. Scotty, you're still taking notes. Are you ready or you need a moment? You're muted.
I know. I was looking for that button. So, and I take notes on content also, just so you know. So, no, it was well done. It's hard to do this, as everybody's mentioned already. I think a couple of things. When you open, you don't need to apologize or say I'm sorry or I'm getting ready. You can just start and say thank you for having me. You know, because that will save you some time, so you can get to more of your salient points about your product and your opportunity. Marco, I think I did hear her say it's a flat monthly fee that's charged, but it didn't come out very strongly. It was halfway through or so, and getting to the opportunity to use your voice with more length and loudness, because that's one of my specialties. I didn't hear a whole lot of variation or a lot of confidence or enthusiasm. So you might want to play a little bit more with your delivery, which you'll be able to do when you have more time to practice, obviously. But just think about that when you re-listen to it. And obviously you can use this opportunity to observe others as well. Look at other pitches that you like and see what you can emulate about them. The other thing was you talked about your experience in getting to the humble brag. So why did you even come up with this idea? I mean, what was the spark that made you do this? Because you've got a reservoir of experience and something must have inspired you.
Oh, sure. Well, pretty much as a small, I have a company. I'm selling software, and I was doing everything people said. Landing pages. I bought Infusionsoft, and I spent all this money doing all this stuff. And then to me, I realized, well, if nobody comes to your website, then all those fancy things you have running are a waste of money and time. So I came up with this to give smaller people a chance to be found on my platform. So even if they didn't find recordsandDataManagement.com, they found me in the records and data management search. And so that's why I came up with it.
Well, there's the phrase that Michael used, make it more democratic, democratized. I've seen that used in other industries is a possibility, or making things more available for small to medium-sized businesses. And then also you said you at the end you started or you showed us what you started with. So I don't know whether it makes sense to maybe reorder that. I'm not quite sure, but it reminded me of a excuse me, a Pinterest sort of a thing, right? Where you can sort of pin and keep track of the things you want to go back to. So I don't know. I would just thought I would throw that out there. It might be a thought to move it up further, saying we started with this, but then realized this was the big opportunity.
Okay, no, thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty. And I will circle back to Marco very, very briefly because he put another comment into the chat box as well. Can you elaborate 1 or 2 sentences on it, Marco?
Yes, basically, since you said that there's no way, there's no algorithm, there is no way people can pay to show up at the top, which I totally agree on. But then I didn't see any like or vote up like Reddit or something. So how does this thing work? How can you, make yourself discoverable to other people, except from sorting that you showed?
Right. So that was kind of the hard part. Was the back end we had was all of you had to sign in to see anything really, right? So and I had like a hard coded login. So I added this front end knowledge base using the knowledge base subscription tool. So this is all public facing. So we started saying, okay, if we public facing, nobody has to sign in or anything. We'll give them all this great content, but then we have it so they can go to the back end and say, oh, okay, if I did sign in, now I can save things, I can do this, I can do that. So that's kind of how so this front end has only been live 7 weeks. And so that's kind of what we started doing. We realized I had people say, well, I don't want to have to give you my email. I don't want to have to log in. Okay, well, let's start kind of splitting it a little bit and put a front end and then a back end with more capabilities. And so that's what we've done. And on the front end, they do have where you can vote or you can say like and dislike, and you can add comments. But right now I disabled those. I can add them back. But again, I really, the like and dislike stuff to me sometimes is just, just enjoy or don't like it, but you don't need to tell everybody or make people feel bad that you didn't like it. So I'm kind of, but that is kind of how the site is set. It's a public facing with a membership back end.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Liederman, what have you noticed? What kind of constructive feedback can you provide to Debbie?
Yeah, Debbie, I think it's amazing that you just jumped in, and I did hear confidence. Actually, I thought, I know that you were reading, but sounded to me that you know what you're doing. But more importantly, at the end of it, I really wanted to know more, and that was my thing. As soon as you were done, I'm like, oh, I want to know more, and I think that's what you want in a short pitch, to be able to intrigue the audience. I agree with the humble brag, maybe a little bit towards the beginning. In relation to your business, I'm in healthcare. There is a healthcare site that started as a blog many years ago, and they were just getting information from CIOs primarily, talking about specific products and specific problems, and it became a huge thing. And pretty much everybody in healthcare was, the first thing that they would do in the morning was read this blog, and based on that, then get educated on some of the products, and then go. And it was amazing. I mean, if your company was named, your product was named on this blog, you will get many calls. So I think you may be after something big. It could be something that you may have to be more specific you may need to think about the specific industry. But I did like the fact that when you were done, I just wanted to know more. So kudos to that. You just jumped in, and I think you did great.
Thank you. Thank you very
Wow, great testimonial, because that's really what the pitch is all about, right? Is you want to open the door so people want to know more. Excellent. Samantha, welcome back. Have you noticed anything? What kind of feedback can you provide to Debbie to improve the pitch for next time?
First, just a big congratulations for a true elevator pitch. This is the, hey, we're getting on the elevator, let me tell you really quickly without preparation. So, you know, real kudos for that. And so there's a point where you said, oh, you were looking for exposure. And I think it was round about the 2-minute mark. And I think up until that point, if you refer back, Michael coined this phrase, the dinner party pitch. And I think everything for that first 2 minutes, that's how it felt, because it didn't feel stiff. I didn't feel sell. It just felt like we were sitting and just, hey, nice to meet you, Debbie. What do you do? And you were telling me, hey, you know, when you get those pop-ups and you just want to, so yeah, I think up until that point, I really kind of just felt that natural dinner party. We're just having a conversation. You're telling me what we do. So I love that. I will say, because you said we'd like to gain exposure, at that point, I wanted to think, I was like, oh yeah, it's a pitch, it represents only your pitching. So what do you need to gain that exposure? Like I thought that's where you were going to start saying, we're looking specifically for, I don't know, influencers or whatever investment. That's the only thing for that last minute, is that's where I thought you were going. And then I was like, well, oh, you're after exposure, not investment. So but yeah, I think great job, and I really enjoyed the presentation, and it felt quite natural to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Samantha. And Chris, what have you noticed?
I really want to say congratulations for just stepping up and doing your talk with no slides, and really impressive. One thing that I thought that might be, at least for me, a little helpful is Nathan suggested putting your credentials up front. Maybe right after that, moving into the use case that I think you started to present with the morning coffee executive, and kind of rounding that whole use case out, or any use case that really has some hooks in it, so that from the executive side and also from the vendor side, describing what they're after, what they get, what the advantages is, and how that works for you as well. Obviously, you got to do it quickly, but I think you can do it. I think Lederman had a great example of this blog that really worked out, and you could work something like that in there so people really visualize how somebody would use the site, and then you could go on to show them the front and the subscription, I guess, or the password protected side of the site. One other thing I would say is that, as people like, or move up different pieces of content, you probably want to work that into your search algorithm so that those items come up first. And I'm not so sure that you're doing that right now. But really, I totally like the talk, and I thought it's a good idea. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And that leaves us Hi. Hi, what have you noticed? What kind of feedback can you provide for Debbie?
Hi, Debbie. I love the content. It's seems like you have a lot of content there, and just feedback from Chris and Lederman that kind of like a specialty, and your 20 years of experience. Not sure if you are doing blogs or anything on this, but just remind me of another session that I have somewhere else, that people actually making money being a specialist, and people actually pay, like CIO that are paying for, but he's like in the travel, and he's kind of like a journalist, but he's making like article for executive level, and he get paid for that. So I'm not sure if this help, but seem like, with that experience, some niche that you can have on, or at least the model, you need to show why people need to log in, justify that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hi. And my only comment that I want to add has to do with the end of your pitch. To me, it seemed to just end quite abruptly without a clear call to action, right? What do you want the people that were listening, what do you want them to do next? And Marco put another comment into the chat box with a fairly good idea there to perhaps have a demo account and then prompt people to sign up for the demo account. That could be an excellent call to action to get them started with the onboarding process. In general, though, again, I think we all agree, fabulous job, especially for just such a short notice, jumping in so quickly. Really, congratulations, Debbie. And what I would like to ask you is, has this been helpful? And if so, how?
Yes, very, very, very helpful. I really appreciate all of your comments and everything. And I do like the idea, like what you just said about the close. I think I panicked at the end because I saw I had gone over 3 minutes. And so I was trying to keep to that. So I'll try to fit that in practice. And I'm going to change some things around like we talked about. I'll put the voting or the comments back in, as you mentioned, Chris, and kind of add that up and just kind of switch things around based on all your comments and then see how I do in 3 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yes. Okay. Wow. That's excellent. So with that, I want to thank everybody on the call, Debbie for stepping up to the plate, all of the coaches and attendees for all the valuable feedback that you're providing week after week. So really appreciated. We are helping one presenter at a time, and I think we couldn't do a much better job doing that. So thank you, everybody, Michael, Marco, Scotty, everybody. Thank you. And with that, enjoy a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Claudia.